Welcome
to
Art
or something
like
it.
A television
series
About artists of all
genres,
backgrounds and media.
From music,
performance,
Writing and poetry,
to photography,
sculpture,
film and painting.
Sit back,
relax,
And enjoy the
show.
Art, something like it. I do art, something like it. Yeah, art.
You're watching art or something like it.
I do art, something like it.
Art is the bedrock of the urban soul.
Mcleod Chapman? Mcleod Chapman? He's an affront to decent American values. And he's rad.
Hey everybody, my name is Mcleod Chapman and I am the creator of the Pumpkin Pie Show. We're here at the Crane Theater on East 4th Street. Let's go inside and see what we can do with a little art or something like it. Come on in. This is us. Welcome to Art or Something Like It. My name is Clay, and here we go. We all saw it sprawled across the blackboard the second we stepped into Miss Lovecraft's class. Its wingspan reached from one end of the room to the other, hovering above our heads as if it were about to pounce. Its chalk-scrawled claws looking ready to grab up an unsuspecting student and fly away. Its mouth hung low to the ground, donning an outward set of lips that hid a much smaller pair, both of which were peeled freely back in order for the class to stare down the diagram of its cavernous throat.
Good evening. My name is Abe Goldfarb, and tonight I will be interviewing a gentleman of such grandiloquence, such natural poetry, such a shining scalp, that scarce has any interviewer been able to capture him adequately. This evening, yes, no word of a lie, we will be talking to Mcleod Chapman. Good evening, sir.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here.
I know. So, let's talk. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty, okay?
All right. Well, hi, I'm Clay, and now that that's over with, let's talk a little bit about me. I've written 2 books. The first was a collection of short stories called Rest Area. Came out in 2002. It's 20 shorts, all first-person narratives, all coming from, you know, kind of deep South, Southern Gothic, out there stuff. Dark, funny now and then, but dealing with the kind of Southern fried mentality. The second book was a novel called Miss Corpus, and it got even loopier and got a little crazier, a little darker, but it was pretty much mapping out the existence of these 2 men about to be in a car accident with each other about halfway through the book. So you've got point A and point B, and then point B and point A, and the lives of these 2 men kind of going in this car, their own cars, until they meet smack dab in the middle. I find half of my stories, 3/4 of my stories, just from cribbing things that happen around the country, in our backyard. Truth is totally going to be stranger than fiction, so let's steal from the truth and make it fiction and make it even weirder. It must suck its prey up from below, I thought, like a bottom feeder feasting off the murky ocean floor. Its sole sense of perception stemmed from an antenna protruding out from the top rim of its inner lips. that slimy appendage would slither out from its mouth like a snail easing up from its shell, searching blindly for its next victim. What is that ungodly thing? My best friend Jimmy Pickman asked. It looks like an octopus, I replied. Miss Lovecraft had scribbled its name over its dome-shaped head, beckoning the class to chant out this creature's nauseating nomenclature. Now, class, repeat after me. This is the vagina. You can be a conduit for all these things that you see on stage that you don't really need. You don't need costumes, you don't need fancy sets, you don't need helicopters flying in from backstage. All you need is the voice and the oral tradition of somebody telling a story. And you can get everything else. You can get setting, you can get tone, you can get personalities, you can get characters that aren't even there in the moment, and it's just a matter of it coming from one voice.
Straight from the mouth of a white-shirted angel. You have been listening to Clay Mcleod Chapman, a distinctive, frightening, and altogether wonderful man. My name is Abe Goldfarb, and you've been watching a whole bunch of stuff about art.
Hey, thanks for coming to see my segment. My name is Clay Mcleod Chapman, and if you want to learn more, you should go to pumpkinpieshow.com, or if you want to see the whole performance of Late Bloomer, go check out artorsomethinglikeit.com. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
It's over. You are through.
Art is anything to keep hobos from getting a real job.
My name is Marie Roberts, and I am artist in residence for Coney Island USA. I paint all of the sideshow banners for Sideshows by the Seashore at Coney Island USA. The sideshow banner has a somewhat strict format. There's an orange border and a yellow ribbon announcing whatever the attraction or the performer is. And the circle that says alive, it's a clue that you're going to see a live show and not a stuffed something in a jar. When I started painting for Coney Island USA, there was a set number of acts and the performers changed. So for the first few years, I used generic people I met as a stand-in. People from history as the glass eater, my mechanic as the magician. But in the last few years, I've been putting the specific acts up on the banner line. It seems to be a nice thing for the actors themselves to see themselves and nice for the people who come. What's interesting about painting actors is if I want to distort a painting, if I want to show space and maybe make one arm longer and one arm shorter, I've had actors, the amazing Blazing Tyler Fire taught me this. He would say, well, my arms are equal. I do not want my arms distorted. So I'd have to find a composition, a way to make the composition to please the actor, because the artists in the past who painted, like Titian, they never picked up a brush unless somebody commissioned them. So it's kind of a nice push and pull to work with an actor. I tend to draw people. I tend to watch people for a long time while they perform and make drawings in front of them and then from memory. And after a long time of doing that, it's like I can figure out what their key attributes are. Some of the young people that are doing banner painting now, they age their banners so they look artificially old, and that makes no sense to me. It's like, what's so great about Donnie when he performs, or Tyler, or any of the young people that are performing, is they they come up with something new. They're taking a tradition and they're making it new. And I think that's what I'm trying to do with my banners, is sort of build on this thing, put in what I can and make something new. So I mean, my banners are bright. I work in a high key. My banners are supposed to compete with everything that's going on and stop you in your tracks. The first year that they hung them up, I was upstairs in the museum. The banners were hanging below. And I looked out and, you know, you see people, they just stop in their tracks. Do you know what it's like to be a living artist and see people stop in their tracks to look at what you do? It's like you won the trifecta at the OTB. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to be 52 and to be painting every day and to know people look at it. You know, I have no ear for music. I'm tone deaf. But with the little bit I can hear, sometimes you hear somebody playing on the subway station and it just, they're banging on an old plastic pot and you just feel like it's so elemental and it's so there and it's so art. And then, you know, I go to Celebrate Brooklyn and I'll see somebody perform that's like, you know, a top performer and it's still got that element, you know, does it make any sense? Like there should be room in the world for somebody who obsessively takes their socks apart and makes images with it, and there should be room in the world for somebody who wants to be obsessed and make her own egg tempera with eggs, the way Cennino Cennini did in 1255. I find that maybe the best artists in our country are struggling. It's hard to do what you want. It's hard to come up with the money. I mean, to paint, you need space, you need art supplies, you need the time to do it. If you go to the museum and look at a Quattrocento painting of a saint, that saint might be very flat and have his or her attributes, whatever they're famous for, right there. And I think in a way these sideshow banners, if you trace the history of them, they go right back to the beginning of painting for a populace. So I try to get enough in there. I'm going to put a little oil rig back here because Donnie's from Oklahoma. And most of the people who watch the show are not going to know that. But I think it'll please Donnie to know that that'll be buried. So I try to bury these little things in my paintings. Donnie! This is your painting. Do you like it? Do you hate it?
Hello, my name is Mr. Donnie V from the Coney Island Sideshow, and this is my new banner for the show, painted by Marie Roberts, which I'm very excited to have her painting my banners because she has painted some of the greatest contemporary sideshow performers' banners. Now there's me. And she's painted great underground burlesque performers' banners. She's painted most all the banners for the sideshow. And she's a wonderful artist that has a great talent that carries on a great tradition of the sideshow. Well, tell me what you're going to do, like more with it.
Now I know you were concerned because you did not want a dark banner. You wanted something vibrant.
Yeah.
Now this is just in a laid-in state. I'm just kind of finding the composition, and I changed the drawing. You're not standing up, you're kneeling because you're too tall to fit in this format, and I wanted to make you bigger.
And it makes the chainsaw bigger.
Makes the chainsaw bigger.
I was concerned about too much brown on the back, but I see it's looking really good. So to find out more about Marie Roberts, make sure you go to bitterwonder.com.
You're watching art or something like it.
Art should just be like, I don't know, a butterfly and a G-string doing loop-de-loops and Cheerios. That should be art. Or something green, something yellow, something borrowed, something blue, something dry, something wet, something framed, something not. Anything, whatever. Just define it what you will. As far as me, art, hell, I don't know.
Julz A. Date closing and I'm 0-2 a different time. We're on sunset time, day-long grind. I'm the eclectic accordion player, rapping and singing while I play. I call it squeeze rock. holding on, knowing a string in the air. Father's a bother, the older ones care. With young love, the night blood, and shudder the flow. It gets cold, hold stance, dance in the night.
I'm bringing the accordion back into popular music as a lead instrument in rock and roll.
You scratched and you bled, the bed's too comfy. It must be your head, Shifty. You hit it, now pin down the minute. You sensed and you fit it, you lie if you let it. So hold on to all, because all will recall when you're left in the hall. Midnight stands tall.
People actually never know what to expect when they hear that I rap while I play the accordion. They think, well, is it going to be polka? Is it going to be some Eastern European thing? Or is it, what exactly would it be? Is it a gimmick? And, I inevitably will tell people that it's not a gimmick. I believe in what I'm doing. I'm all about squeezing the notes out and burning the bellows. This is my first accordion, Bob. I acquired Bob on the salty beach of San Diego from this pirate who was getting rid of his old red accordion. I've taken it to many different accordion shops and asked them where it's from, and they have no idea what the make or model is really, because these decals are all fake. They were put on by this pirate named Bob. What I do is not specifically rap or singularly hip-hop. I do a more eclectic thing, and I call it squeeze rock. So I consider myself more of an eclectic alternative on the accordion, and more of a punk rocker in a suit. Here is the grandchild of Bob. This is the mini accordion named Toulouse-Lautrec. And Toulouse was a gift from my girlfriend, who decided we needed a baby to replace Bob after Bob retired. So here's the song for Toulouse-Lautrec. If you think you found a castle, it's a lasting reward, but the looking is a hassle for some plasterboard. The dwelling all but smiles, you know that there's more. Cresting the stair is a curious door. The home is all you want with a view of the sea. Too good to be true, it's been listed for free. Like a piece of cheese left too long in the breeze. You turn with ease and make your leave. Then have a second thought and try to make believe. How tragic not to have it, you modestly tease. While contemplating sipping on some caffeine tea. A sneaky super someone tries to slip you the key. But I'll have to say no thank you. Yes, I have to say no thank you. But I'll have to say no thank you. But I'll have to say goodbye. I'll have to say no thank you. Yes, I have to say no thank you. Yes, I have to say no thank you. But I'll have to say goodbye. This here is my Cadillac, my black Cadillac, the Giulietti. It's a handmade Giulietti accordion. She's my main squeeze. Art starts with talent, but if you don't learn the craft of whatever it is you're doing, the talent will not be expressed properly. You can have plenty of wonderful ideas going through your head, but if you haven't gone through the workouts of building your technique, those ideas may not properly be expressed.
listening. This was Squeeze Rock, played by Julz A. If you want to hear more Squeeze Rock, go to julz-a.com. And if you want to see more of the videos, go to artorsomethinglikeit.com. Thank you, and good night.
The coolest thing about Bill Plympton is that his name sounds like his artwork looks. Because I was looking at his artwork and I was like, that artwork looks Plympton.
Hello, I'm Bill Plympton. Welcome to my studio. I'm an independent animator. I live here in New York City, and I make films that are not for children. I make them for adults.
The first kiss is the most important. It is the kiss that all of us remember. But oftentimes, the female gender is shy or skittish. The male must then be gentle yet persuasive in his pursuit. Sometimes a certain amount of resistance on the part of the girl may only be a coy pretense to lure the man on. But the male must be clever and resourceful in his pursuit and yet still retain his manly dignity. For in the eternal game of love, the spoils go not to the shy.
Well, I think the thing that attracted me to animation was I was about 4 years old and I saw this cartoon. I think it was Daffy Duck cartoon. And I saw the crazy humor, the crazy wit, the visual style, and I thought that's something that I wanted to do. I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen, and I knew immediately that that's what I wanted to do. So all my life I've been drawing. I love to draw, and I love to draw funny images, funny cartoons. I consider myself definitely a commercial artist. I was a painter when I was in college. I didn't like it. I think it's a bullshit career. I think it's a bunch of egomaniacs trying to get grants and publicity for something that the audience really doesn't want to see. For me, it's really important that the audience likes it. And a lot of people like it. My hero is Frank Capra. If I could make a film that is as popular as a Frank Capra film, that to me would be the ultimate. So I think being a commercial artist is not an insult. I think it's an honor. I want everybody to love my films, and I don't want to pander. I want to do something. You know, the spirit for me is like the Beatles. The Beatles were creative. They came up with ideas that no one had ever thought of before. Came up with really original, fresh ideas. Yet, at the same time, they appealed to the masses, and that's that double-edged talent that I really aspire to. This is a new feature I'm doing, so I'll show you some of the drawings. Here he tries to grow wings and doesn't work, and then everybody makes fun of his wings and they kill him, and I can't tell you the whole story, it's pretty involved, but basically about this guy who's a real ne'er-do-well, a real idiot, and he grows wings and he tries to adapt to the wings. So what I'll do is I'll do these storyboards, which are like this. This is like a graphic novel. This is his girlfriend. And so what I will do is I'll go through each drawing and do a bit of animation. It's like layouts. So this is a scene I'm working on now, where the bartender goes into his back room. So I changed it a little bit. I moved the door a little more perspective. And then I have to animate this guy. This is him here, the bartender, walking to the door, opening the door. The door is going to open like this. And then he goes inside the door. So I got to, like, you know, have him walking into the door like that. I do every drawing. There's about 30,000 drawings. I can do about 100 drawings a day, so that means about a year. It takes about a year to animate it, something like that.
Your face hums, makes me a happy fellow.
I have 3 rules to make a successful film. One is make it short, under 5 minutes. 2, make it cheap, under $1,000 a minute. And 3, make it funny. And if you can answer all 3 of those qualifications, your film will be a success, and you will make enough money to continue making films, which is, for me, that's my goal, is to be independent and not have to use grant money or outside money or, you know, take a lot of commercial jobs. I enjoy doing my short films and my feature films, and you know, they bring good profit. So talking about doing shorts, these are 2 of my, well, you can see from my shirt, Guide Dog. These are 2 of my new shorts, Guide Dog and Guard Dog. And Guard Dog was nominated for an Oscar. And so he's become my Mickey Mouse. I'm going to do a bunch of short films using that dog because people really respond to him. I don't know why. A dog is more identifiable for humans than another human, but the people just seem to respond to the dog. And then this is a collection of my new shorts called Plymptoons. It's available on most of your video stores, and these are all my classics, like 25 Ways to Quit Smoking, How to Kiss, One of Those Days, Your Face. So, you know, definitely check that out. Well, thanks. That's my studio. Thanks for coming to visit. If you want to find out more about Bill Plympton, go to plymptoons.com, or you can email me at plymptoons@aol.com, and look forward to seeing your film sometime. Thanks for coming. Ciao.
Feel the overdrive rising like a beehive. I seem to bring pride to the waters and still honor the spirits who tried. Hoping the slippery Rocky Mountain slope I can cope with inwood compost. Sunny side of the hilly moat. Was it silly? Was I willing for a shilling? Holding crumbled, crying ceiling. Spread my wings to looks and things. 3 or 4 golden rings make it to heaven. Baking leavened bread going straight to your head. If you're like Cobain dead, well the hawk fled. When you lost mine halfway up the climb. Where's the scale of tomorrow? Let the animal follow. Never when it sounds hollow.
Go. Get out of here. It's done. You're through. You are through.